Hello, tubers. I'm on the final chapter of Fallout Tactics, Brotherhood of Steel, or FT boss. Considering that I just downloaded the game 10 days ago, that was fast, but this is largely due to having a lot of downtime during the holidays. As I was about to continue, I said to myself, wait a minute, maybe I can do this better. I just stumbled my way to the final chapter on normal mode, just figuring my way out, but definitely not playing the game the best possible way that I can. So I decided to restart the game on hard mode, which I had tried at first and found it too hard. But now, knowing a bit more, perhaps I can do better. And in the process, gather some more info that can be helpful for all of us. So here then are 12 tips for anyone to start and play the game. Again, this is the default game with no mods, save for a pistol and a sniper rifle improvement. For my settings, I'm using squad turn-based mode, which I think is the best playstyle for me. It's not the fastest, but it allows us better control over the situation and our team. So please be forewarned that there will be spoilers. In the game, our character is called the Warrior, so let's just use that name here. Tip number 1. Let's take the time to read all the stuff in character creation for our warrior. Never mind the cosmetics, it's the traits, skills, and attributes that are important. If we click on an item, there will be a short description, and all this is fairly self-explanatory. I don't know all of this, and I tend to lean on some skills more than others, but what I know can definitely get me through the game on hard mode. But if you like to try the other skills and attributes, go right ahead. And sure, we may change the color of our warrior's uniform just to set him apart from the rest of the squad. Tip number 2. Like many games like this, there are 3 things that we can never have enough of: money, action points, and bullets. These 3 things define that our warrior should be good in barter, small guns, and agility. Yes, other recruits can also do this for us, but it helps from the get-go where we can customize our warrior for him to be good in these skills. There are a few other ways to increase our action points. Look for them in optional traits. You can create your warrior to your fancy, but note that there will be no chance to reset his skills mid-game. He can make up for a lesser trait as he levels up, but there is no way to restart with a clean slate and respect our boy mid-game. So loading up on action points, barter, and marksmanship can never hurt. Next tip, related to barter, is that the more we can carry, the more we can sell. I am a compulsive loot goblin. I play games with loot in mind, so I collect every piece of junk. The more our team can collectively carry, the more stuff we can sell off, and the more money we will have for buying cool stuff. In this game, money comes in 2 forms: Brotherhood scripts and ring pulls, and both will have their uses in the game. Tip number 4. Check out the character screen every once in a while. There's a color code to the skills on the character screen. Gray is for the skills we're currently manipulating. Red means that there's a handicap on these skills, whether we're bandaged, encumbered, or some other status effect. Blue are for skills where we have some advantage, opposite of the red. In addition, take note that in skill points, 100% is not the limit. Feel free to bump up our boy to way more than 100%. Tip number 5. As we reach our first base camp, there's nothing that stops us from completing the squad of 6 immediately. In my first run of this game, I stuck with the warrior and the default recruits of Farsight and Stitch, and I didn't get my 4th guy until the ghouls were available for recruiting. But in this game, experience or XP is gained as a group, meaning the XP we will gain for every mission and kill will be the same for each guy, whether we play solo or as 6 guys. The quality of recruits available is dependent on our rank, but nothing will stop us from completing the squad of 6. Also, if we change the members of our team, there's no penalty for that, and in addition, the new recruit inherits the XPs gained by the former team member. So that means in my first try, by sticking to just 3 guys, I had wasted a lot of XPs by not completing the team sooner. In a way, I had an opportunity loss of XPs for 3 other team members by not completing the squad. This was one of the main reasons that I decided to restart the game. The next step, which may sound trivial, is that the internet is our friend. I don't feel guilty surfing around the wikis and YouTube to find some tips and walkthroughs. In my case, even after reading the walkthroughs, some items are still hard to find and some missions take a lot of time for me to figure out. So no, I don't feel guilty consulting the internet on my smartphone Pip-Boy. There are some special items that can be found in only one mission and in only one spot, and there's no way I'm going to wander around for hours looking for something that may or may not be there. There are useful info on the net about an old game, so why not avail of that knowledge? For example, there is this special armor that can only be found in one refrigerator, in one house, and in one mission. And even after reading several walkthroughs, I used up about half an hour moving around and I still couldn't find it. Even after watching one YouTube video, it took me several tries to find the armor. Once in a room, we have to click on a specific tile that is not visible to access a ladder. This is one of those games that we have to open every box and click on every clickable item to scour the area completely, otherwise we won't find the item. And just a reminder, the items in each box and enemy are fixed, they are not random. Play the game again and we'll find the exact same item in the same place. The next tip here is that there are basically 2 types of encounters: close-in and sniping. Close-in combat involves dealing massive amounts of firepower up close, and this should be resolved quickly before the enemy can kill one of our guys. With this, we should bring all sorts of high-powered, short-range weapons such as pistols, heavy guns, grenade launchers, shotguns, and similar weapons. Let's just remember that when we barge into a room, our guys will be scattered all over, and almost surely some of them will be taking friendly fire from a comrade behind him. And unless our grenade launcher guy is very good, that kind of splash damage is likely to hurt our guys also. The second type of encounter is from afar, where we slowly chip away at an enemy's health and armor and take him down before one of our squad dies. And hopefully we are better shots than he is, because he will be shooting back. Our boys with shorter range should be crawling or sneaking forward for a better shot. A 0% shot probability is basically that. There's no way we can hit the enemy, and we're just wasting bullets. Melee and fist attacks are strictly for defensive purposes, only to be used when an enemy is coming up close to deal melee attacks also. There is no way, no matter how strong our armor is, that our guys can surge up to an enemy toting a 50 cal M2 Brownie and survive, especially from afar. There are some uses for defensive melee, but FT boss is generally a gunfight. Instead of using a melee weapon, why not use a short-range burst fire weapon from up close? That will make contact sooner than any melee weapon. Like most games, this game is about staying alive and dealing damage to the enemy. Tip number 8 is to not discount the throwing ability. Grenades that connect can resolve an encounter very quickly. Explosions of any type are good, provided that any of our guys are not nearby. And we can expect our guy to throw things from a farther distance, so this is an ability to check out. Tip number 9. Another tip is to use our medic to do healing during combat. The default medic, Stitch, not that Stitch, but this Stitch, is not a very good shot even with a lot of points on small guns, so unless the enemy is nearby, he's more useful healing people than shooting during combat. Tip number 10. We need to use combined arms for the most effective attack. That means bringing a combination of sniper rifles, heavy weapons, and burst fire guns to bear on the enemy. That also means that the weapons with shorter range need to come closer so that their percentages can be higher. This also means that we need to position our team before a firefight. If you're expecting an encounter as we enter a room or turn a corner, let's take time to position our guys. The heavies up front, the snipers hanging back, and the medic somewhere in between the two groups to heal all of them. There is this one unusual situation, but it can explain the importance of positioning. As we open this door, there will be enemies with machine guns on both sides of the corridor. Our team can only pass through the door one at a time, so as one of our guys pass through the doorway, the two enemies can cut down on our guy. We can try funneling our guys through the door one at a time to shoot at the enemies, but it's likely that one of our guys will be cut down. So in this situation, I positioned a medic on the left and someone whose job is to open and close the door on the right. At the center of the doorway, I position my toughest guy with a lot of action points, and as Farsight opens the door, Cookie the super mutant goes through the door, gets cut down, but can shoot twice with her machine gun before retreating back inside. Farsight then closes the door, and Stitch heals Cookie. As Cookie regains health and action points, Farsight then opens the door again, and Cookie repeats her actions. Go through the door, take the shots, and give them back, and back inside again. Rinse and repeat until the two baddies are dead. A funny thing happened. As the door was closed and Cookie was healing, the one remaining enemy got wind of my gimmick and decided to open the door himself, only to be cut down by a room full of my team. I wish I had recorded a video of the situation, but by the time I thought of it, the save point before the encounter was gone. Anyhoo, with enough tips, perhaps you can make your own funny situation as you play the game. Tip number 11. Take the time to read the weapon specs. Press I for inventory, left click on the weapon equipped, then right click on the information screen. That will give us a summary of the weapon specs. This is especially important because in this game, a weapon appearing later in the game is not automatically better than an older weapon. This is unlike other games where a weapon found later in the game is automatically more powerful. Also, with weapons, sometimes we have to make trade-offs between range and power. One weapon may be more powerful but has shorter range, so we have to choose wisely. Last tip. Be careful in buying and selling. If we sell an item by mistake, buying it back will definitely cost us more. In this example, buying this gun back is 5 times more expensive than selling it. While selling bullets we don't use can be tempting, if we discover a gun later in the game that uses the bullets we just sold, it becomes doubly unwise to try to buy back the bullets. These are enough tips for now, and I hope that they will be helpful. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again on the next video for even more tips. I'll sign off by showing a video of my new team in hard mode, chasing the baddies all over the place. Just for comparison, squad turn-based on hard mode is easier than continuous turn-based on normal mode, at least for me. Having found the hard mode in this playstyle too easy, I tried insane mode, but no, I don't want that kind of insanity. Insane mode involves memorizing all the enemy positions and saving and loading more often, so it's back to the hard mode. So bye for now.